some participants who have joined us, just like Anis Rohmah from IAIN Kediri, and then Asral Sekar Maharani from UIN Sunan Gunung Jati, and then Mariana from IAIN Parepare. Perhaps you may rename your name, participants, so we can identify you. We've got Sherry Bulan also from IAIN Parepare, and then Siti Israyani from IAIN Parepare, Suci Mahdini Alsha from IAIN Langsa, and then Cynthia Nadila from UIN STS. Okay, let me check it. So what STS stands for. And then Siti Israyani from IAIN Parepare, Suci Mahdini Alsha from IAIN Langsa, and then Cynthia Nadila from UIN STS. Okay, let me check it. So what STS stands for. And then Siti Israyani from IAIN Parepare, Suci Mahdini Alsha from IAIN Langsa, and then Cynthia Nadila from UIN STS. Okay, let me check it. Stands for. And then Siti Israyani from IAIN Parepare, Suci Mahdini Alsha from IAIN Langsa, and then Cynthia Nadila from UIN STS. Okay, let me check it. Stands for. And then Siti Israyani from IAIN Parepare, Suci Mahdini Alsha from IAIN Langsa, and then Cynthia Nadila from UIN STS. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and all great participants. Welcome to National News Reading Competition Award, National English Olympiad 2021, presented by English Department, Faculty of Education, Institut Agama Islam Negeri Kediri, with me, Ranita Donasari, as Master of Ceremony. We like to inform you that this event is also live on YouTube, so you may visit our YouTube channel, TBI EIN Kediri, if you want to get the recorded video. Alright, first of all, we would like to introduce you to the Rector of Institut Agama Islam Negeri Kediri, His Excellency Mr. Dr. Nurhamid, the Dean of Faculty of Education, Mr. Dr. Ali Anwar, the Head of English Department, Mrs. Dr. Ari Setia Budiningrum. Hello, ma'am. The Jury of National News Reading Competition, Mrs. Nurul Aini. Okay. Yeah, this is Mrs. Nurul Aini. And we would also like to recognize and welcome the former producer at KGWTV and the former producer at WBIR Channel 10. Our guest star today, Mr. Travis Jackson. Okay. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and all great participants, without further ado, we would warmly like to invite the Dean of Faculty of Education of Institut Agama Islam Negeri Kediri to give the opening remarks. To the Honorable Mr. Dr. Ali Anwar, you have the floor.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawalah. Amma ba'dah. The Honorable Mr. Jury Travis, the Honorable our Chief of our department, Bu Ari, and all of juries. This morning I am very glad because I can join in this meeting. The meeting's name is News Reading Competitions. I think this event is very important for so many students and senior high school, I think, to join because they can use their ability to use their English, even in this opportunity to join in the event that's conducted by English department. So I think in this opportunity, I am very glad to join in this meeting. And the second one, I think we must use so many programs like this, yeah, for the candidate of our new students in the future, I think. So that as a dean of Tarbiyah faculty in this time, I am very glad to Bu Ari, Bu Nuraini, Azure, and so many people who conducted these programs. I think that's all our opening remarks in this morning, and let's start our programs this morning by reading Al-Fatihah. Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Arrahmanirrahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Bapak. All right, it is such a great speech to motivate us. It's English Department of Institut Agama Islam Negeri Kediri to have a lot of activities over here and to give a chance for every participant to join us here to show their ability in English. All right, let's continue. Ladies and gentlemen, and all great participants, as the information, this competition was attended by 22 participants from various universities in Indonesia. And this national news competition judged by two experts. They are Mrs. Aini. Hello, Mrs. Aini.
Hello.
Yeah, an English lecturer of English Department of IAIN Kediri. She is an expert in grammar and translation. So perhaps if you want to get more knowledge about grammar and translation, you may contact her. Thank you for being available, Mrs. Aini.
You're most welcome.
Okay, and also the next jury is our guest star today, Mr. Travis Jackson, as our main jury, who is an expert in newscasting. So let me tell you more about our today's guest. Hello, Mr. Travis. So he is retired U.S. Peace Corps volunteer in Indonesia and worked at Pamu TV. He is also the former producer at KGWTV, former producer at WBIR Channel 10. So have a lot of experiences in newscasting, right? Thank you for being available, Mr. Travis. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much. All right, again, Mr. Jackson. Oh, I say Mr. Travis or Mr. Jackson, right? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mr.
it's up to
Travis.
you.
Okay, so let us give a chance to the participants to know you more, or perhaps to get a lot of knowledge about newscasting. Can we have around 10 minutes for Q&A session? Okay, good. All right, participants, are you ready for giving questions to our expert today? Okay, we allow three participants. So we allow three participants to give questions. So one question will be responded directly by Mr. Travis and go to the next question. All right, the first participant. The first participant, please, want to give a question?
I think
Rika, okay. Rika, okay.
Yes.
All right, can you introduce yourself and deliver your question to Mr. Travis? Time is yours.
All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I'm Rika Niswatul Aulia, and people usually call me as Rika. I'm from State Islamic Institute of Kediri, and I'm from English Education Department. And actually, I have two questions for Mr. Travis Jackson Worsavis as a great speaker today. May I?
Okay, two questions. Please give brief question, right?
All right.
All right.
The first question from me to Mr. Travis is about the priority in news presenters. So what should come first in presenting the news? Fluency first, or pronunciation first, or even intonation first, or they all should come together in balance so there is no priority? Thank you.
Okay, so that's the first question. Yes, please, Mr. Travis.
Yeah, hi Rika, nice to meet you, and thank you for a wonderful question. I think it's a really good statement. I do think all three things matter, but for me, I would say fluency is probably number one, because I think a newscaster needs to understand what they are talking about. That's the most important thing. So whether it's fluency of English or fluency of Indonesian or fluency of another language, I think you need to know what you're talking about in order to tell the important information, to raise your voice at the important times and lower your voice at other times, to speed up, to really make a point with how you speak. So I would say fluency number one, and then pronunciation and understanding, those go hand in hand. So I think once you have that fluency, you'll have better pronunciation, better grasp of the language, and all the other things kind of melt together. But I think fluency would be my number one requirement.
All right. Thank you for your answer. That's
Okay,
quite
got
clear.
it? You got
Yes,
it?
I got it.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
So that's very detailed questions and very detailed tips from Mr. Travis, right? To be a good broadcaster or news anchor. All right. Next question comes from, wait a minute, Zahrotun. Zahrotun, can you hear me?
Yes, of course I can.
Okay, so this is the second question. Please introduce yourself and then deliver your question.
Well, like I have everyone, Fadila, but you can call me Della. I am from Islamic University of Jember, and I am majoring Syariah accounting. And
hello, nice to meet you. Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm so nervous, by the way. Okay. My question is, I think this is common question, but based on my experience, yeah, how to build self-confidence when we speak in front of camera? Because according to my experience of making a video, it takes me a long time, and I think I am more confident to speak up in front of public, I mean in person. And yeah, that's my question, how to build self-confidence in front of camera.
Yeah, that's a really good question as well. Thank you for that. I think the number one thing with that is just practicing over and over. And I know that might be annoying, but even if you do like Instagram Live or other things that you just are getting repetitions, the more you do it, the less nervous it will be. I don't know how most of you feel, but for me, when COVID pandemic began and we all had to do a bunch of Zoom calls, at first it was really difficult for me and it felt like a lot, but the more we've done Zoom calls, the more I got used to it. So I think if you keep doing camera calls or even practicing in front of a camera, even if it's not for real news, but just practicing in front of a camera for any type of speech, the more you do it, the less nervous you'll become. It might feel a little silly to do it with nobody there, but I promise it will make you more relaxed the more often you do it.
Okay, thank you for the answer.
All right, thank you. So the more you do it, the more expert you are, right?
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for the second questioner, Zahratun. The next, please, the last question.
Me.
Oh, Ali
Can I-
Ikhwan. Okay, you may introduce
Yeah, okay.
yourself in deliver your question.
Thank you. Because I have two friends here. Then we are from State Islamic Institute of EIN Parepare, South Sulawesi. Then I have a question for Mr. Travis. Okay, Mr. If I'm a news anchor, then I'm doing live right now. Then I have a problem with the teleprompter. There is a wrong sentence on there is a wrong sentence on it. Then how to overcome the problem if we got the wrong sentence? And because we are live right now, so many people watching us, then how to overcome it? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to meet you. And that's another really great question. I think, so two things. Typically in a real news station, you will read your scripts before you go on air. So even though it's on live TV, hopefully you read it one time before that, so you're not reading it for the first time right away. And so if you see something wrong ahead of time, you just fix it and correct it so that you're saying the right thing when you're live. Sometimes you're in a hurry and you forget and you don't see that right away. If that is the case and you know as soon as you said it, what I would recommend is you collect your thoughts, take a deep breath and say on air, live, correct yourself. Say, I'm sorry, that was an error on our end. That's not correct. We will work to get you the correct information and then continue on. So as soon as you spot the mistake, correct it, but don't stumble. Try to calm your nerves and just say, hey, I'm sorry, that was a mistake. We will get you the correct information. Because the most important thing in news is to report accurate information. I know there's a lot of fake news or hoax or hoax, as they say in Indonesia, and you want to correct that as soon as you can so as not to spread that misinformation.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
Mr. Travis.
Thank you so much for a good answer. So the main point is we have to make a good preparation before doing live. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good preparation. Move on faster and be relaxed for that, right? Okay, that's a good tip for being a news anchor. By the way, we've got a 3 questions, so it has done. Perhaps you may give them more tips, Mr. Travis, to be a good news anchor, or perhaps you may give us an overview or an explanation about what's the difference between news anchor, broadcaster, are they the same or different? And then more tips perhaps about how to be a great broadcaster. Okay, please, Mr. Travis.
Travis,
Yeah.
Rika has a question.
What's up?
Rika has a question, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Rika, if we have time, I'm happy to answer Rika's question, and then I can give you tips, more tips on being a newscaster as well. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello? Yeah. So my second question is about a teleprompter. How to deal with a teleprompter that usually requires news presenters to read quickly, such as the running text has passed, but the news presenter has not read yet, so they must remember well automatically and quickly. So how to deal with it? Thank you.
Yeah, good question. So that is actually a pretty common issue, but it depends on the TV station you work at. What is happening now a lot in TVs is that actually the anchors run their own teleprompter. So they are selecting how fast it is, and you have a remote that speeds it up and slows it down. So it's difficult because you have to do one more job while reading. But that's number one. Sometimes there are still other TV stations that still hire somebody to run prompter if it does go too fast. Usually the news anchor has paper scripts in front of them. So if it goes by, you look down at your paper script. And I know in some of your videos, and I'm sorry, I don't remember your exact video, Rika, but some people were reading off their scripts, and that's actually pretty normal in real news. Is if the teleprompter goes away, people will read off their script, and that's not that weird, especially because if video comes up over you, people can't even see that you're reading your scripts because they're just seeing the video. So run your own prompter and then have a backup on paper scripts, and then sometimes a third person will have a backup on, at least in America, people use iPads or even their phone, and they have the script on their phone to look at if the teleprompter goes away.
All right, nice answer. Thank you, Mr. Travis.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so that's with that, how Travis tells us about what happened in newscasting to help the news anchor, right, to read the news. Okay, so any more tips for us, I mean the participants, to improve their ability on newscasting, Mr. Travis?
Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit already with Rika's first question, actually, but I think the number one advice I would give is be prepared. And so a lot of people think that newscasting and presenting is all about what they're reading live in the moment. But I'd say the main job of the newscaster is all the preparation. And Ali asked about this too, of going into it ahead of time so that you're not reporting the wrong information or not saying a word for the first time. So the more you practice reading this news ahead of time, one, you'll get comfortable in the camera like we talked about as well. So I would say the biggest thing is that everybody thinks you go on camera and that's the hardest part of the job. But I think the most important part of the job is all the preparation and practice ahead of time. So I think the most successful newscasters are really smart journalists, that they know how all the information ties together, how it matters. So usually, at least at the TV stations I worked at, a producer like myself will go in and write the script first, and I'll write what I think is the best version of the script to tell the information quickly and accurately. But then I think the best newscasters go in, they read that script, and then they change that script to how they would read it and how they would say it, and they make it more comfortable for them so that they're not just reading somebody else's words, but they're actually putting it in their own words and saying the information how they would say it. And that helps them with some of the things we've talked about on this call, of if you're saying it how you, or you're reading it how you would say it, then it's easier to remember what you would have written if the prompter goes down, or if you think there's some bad information, you fixed that ahead of time. And when you're speaking in your own words, you're less nervous to be on camera because you're saying things the way you normally would say it. So my number one advice is just to prepare ahead of your newscast. And I'm willing to bet that the people who did the best on this competition I don't think any of you did that on your first try, right? I bet all of you tried multiple times, you practiced, and then that's how you got the best version of that.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Travis. So being prepared and practice much. Because sometimes when I see news on television, I just see what's that? Very smart news anchor, I think. So sometimes we can identify that this news anchor is look smart, but another is not really because they only read the news or etc. So what about that? What makes somebody look so smart?
Yeah, I think honestly that comes back to that preparation, is that they have prepared ahead of time. And I think especially with newscasters, it's staying in the job, in one job for a long time to get that practice to know, hey, historically, because I think a large part of news is putting history and giving that proper perspective and understanding, hey, like if you're in Kadiri, and I know even like EIN used to be STIEN, right? And
Okay.
that is important information to know if you're talking about a school on the news. You want to say EIN, which used to be STIEN, to let your viewers understand the full history. So I think the smartest newscasters have been doing it a long time. They practice and they continue to learn. Even if you think you know everything, you stay hungry to learn new information, because the nature of news is that it's always new. It's always something you haven't seen or heard or done before. So the minute you think you know everything is when it's bad. But if you continue to learn, then you can continue to teach as well.
All right. One more question. This is the last question. So what's the difference between broadcaster, news anchor, newscaster? Are they the same or the only different in British English or American English perhaps?
Yeah, I don't even know if I'd say it's British English or American English. I think it's all kind of stylistically what you say. So it's a job title, but it's to me, they're all more or less the same. You can be a newscaster on radio, on TV. You can be a broadcaster on radio, on TV. News anchor. I will say, I think broadcaster is probably a little more general term, and a news anchor you typically think is somebody who hosts the news show. But that's the only real difference. I think for the most part, it's just style of what you feel comfortable saying. And I've heard, at least in the United States, I haven't been to Britain, but I've heard all those terms in the United States. So it's not just a America versus Britain thing.
Okay, thank you so much. We are glad to have you. Give a lot of tips and knowledge about newscasting. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Travis. Now, here we go. So the next session is talking about catching feedback section. So catching feedback session that will be continued to the announcement of the winner of news reading competition. As the information, this competition means the winner of this competition are based on 4 criteria. So the first one is language, the second one is performance, the third one is content, and the last is video. So the jury score you means the participant from those criteria. All right, so honorable juries, you may deliver your feedback to each participant. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and all great participants, please help me to welcome our honorable juries, Mrs. Aini and Mr. Jackson. Time is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's finally great to see you all live in this meeting session in the morning, because I think usually we don't have like chit chat and WhatsApp group, but this is the day, the time to have a final. And I would like to first introduce myself. If you still remember in the WhatsApp group, the voice do you listen is that was actually me. And my name is Aini. I'm one of an English teacher here at EIN Kadiri, and I'm interested in public speaking. And I am as the second jury, and now it's your turn, Travis.
Hello, my name is Travis Jackson. As we talked about, I used to work as a local TV news producer in Columbia, Missouri, Knoxville, Tennessee, and Portland, Oregon. Those are all cities in the United States. And I was an English teacher for 2 years with Peace Corps in Indonesia. So I lived in Manisrengo in Kediri, and that's how I met Aini. And then I lived in Kabupaten Majalengka, and I taught English at SMK Negeri 1 Panyingkiran in Panyingkiran. So I'm happy to talk to some Indonesian friends again, and I really enjoyed watching all your presentations. I thought you did a great job.
Okay, so I think we should start from the first. We have some days to talk seriously about the video. Actually, I watched many times. Like Travis, how many times did you take to watch every participant's video?
Oh, it was a lot, yeah.
I was just the same. So it took us like more than 1, 2, or 3 just to make sure in detail, not only about the overall or general part of performance, but it was also about the grammar or the content as well, and especially the pronunciation. And then we both took note on some things that we need to convey this morning. And I think it's the time for a coaching feedback session. We should start from the first participant, Shari Bulan from. Okay, Shari Bulan, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Hello, okay. I think I will go first, Travis.
Yep.
Okay, so after watching your video, we can say like, I personally like the beginning pace of your presentation of or your video, that you are so calm and relaxed. Like when you say some opening sentences, and that's all good. But I think adding a bit energy is better. So you can use more power, because it's a part of introduction, which is like to convince everyone that you are a presenter who presents the news. That's why. And then the content doesn't really represent the topic, because you only talk about the impact of education. Well, I think the theme is actually bridging international relations in public health and educational sector during COVID-19 pandemic. So I hope that there will be more solution, or there will be more solution from the expert or from the real experience around, and not only to talk about the impact of the COVID-19 on education. And there is also some videos in Bahasa Indonesia. I encourage you later on to try with subtitle, because I think it's better if you want to switch between or among 2 languages. And some pronunciation, I think it's a common, like you say psychologist instead of psychologist, but then it's okay, because I myself often mispronounce, so that would be no problem. But overall, it is good. Your accent is very good. I like your accent. And then the fluency is also good. So I think you did good job. That's from me. It's your turn, Travis.
Yeah, good job. I enjoyed watching this. Yours was the first video I watched. So you set the tone for everyone. And I thought, overall, I thought it was really good. I thought you had really fantastic pronunciation, accent, and fluency, like Aini said. I think a little bit later, it got a little slow paced. I think the more confident you get, you can speak quicker to hold people's attention. But kind of like I was saying in my opening comments, I felt like you really knew what you were talking about the whole time. And I think that's really important. So I thought you did well.
Yeah, I agree. So in some phases, you need to be quicker in speaking. Like we are native from Indonesian, we also speak English like not too slow, but it's in a medium pace or something. Yes. We go on the second one. Travis, you go first.
Okay. This is Siti Israel.
Yes, right.
Siti Israyani Armil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked your video as well. I really appreciated the different interactions you had with people. You set up these like interviews where they were talking to you. I think the script could be changed a little bit. There were some flows with the video edits and the conversation were a little off, and just how I know you used clips that were pre-recorded, but I think they were using the like English anchor's name in it. So I liked the creative aspect of it. I thought you were really creative and used a lot of different elements here. I just think they could have been a little tighter edited.
Yeah, okay. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So Siti Israyani Armil, you're so confident in presenting the news, and that's a good thing. Also, the intonation is a very consistent, and your pronunciation is great, I think. And the fluency and creativity are good, because I think you present with a dialogue or interview between you and two other people, which is good. So I like the opening part. It's really convincing. I mean, when you say the majority of American public students are now well into virtual school, so it really convinced the audiences as a part of your introduction of the news, which is good. You did a good job. Yes. We go on the next.
Thank you so much.
Participants, you're welcome. Mariana. Okay. I think I will go first, Travis. So, Mariana, I like the use of live video, which is interesting for me. Your high volume of the video is sometimes it's not really consistent among the faces. So some of the part you use a high volume, but then the next one or another part is a lower. So you need to be consistent. But I think it's only on the video creativity, because our presentation, because your presentation is on the video, so I guess the problem is on that. The intonation is quite good, but I think you can make it, you can speak a bit quicker, like when you say good morning viewers, you can say good morning viewers like in a normal speed, because we are, as a native speaker of Indonesia as well, we don't say selamat pagi, but we say selamat pagi. So that's a normal speed of the flow of your presentation. That's it from me. You did a good job. Your turn, Travis.
Yeah. Hi, Mariana. I also liked your video. I agree with Aini. The audio at times made it a little difficult to follow and hear what you were saying properly. But I think overall your pronunciation was good. The one thing I noticed is the word definitely. I heard you say definitely. And a lot of Indonesians do that. It's a common mistake, but it's pronounced definitely. And I think it stood out because your pronunciation on other words was very good. So that was something I noticed. And then I really like that you used a lot of video the whole time. I think, kind of like I was saying in my earlier comments, if you have video, then you can look at your scripts and it's not distracting. So I thought your overall presentation and confidence was nice.
Yeah, I think Mariana has just joined the Zoom session, but then it's okay. You can follow our comment on YouTube to replay again. Next, we go on Dewi Sinta. It's now number 4, right?
Yep. Do you want me to go
Okay.
first this time?
No, it's your first.
Yeah, I'll go first. So Dewi, I really like yours. I thought this was, overall, your presentation was really nice. You spoke with really good confidence and pace of speech. It was really easy to follow what you were saying. I think as far as the video editing, I think there could have been some more video and other elements throughout. So I think it was mainly just you on camera the whole time. And so I think to keep me engaged, even though what you were saying and how you were saying it was nice, I think there could have been some other video elements to keep my attention a little better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I agree on what Travis said, like adding some video, I mean live video is a better idea to make your video is more interesting. So the audience will not spot only on you, but also the video as well. For me, for my comment is that I think you have a good confidence, which is good, and the stressing and the intonation are okay. The speed is consistent. It somehow needs some space to stop among sentences. So you need to stop like between or among sentences because you need to have like some spaces. And then I found there are some pronunciation error, but it's not a big deal. We learn together still. When you say like system determine during current and so on. And I think overall it's good. Some music background is sometimes too loud at the beginning, so your main voice is disrupted by the lot of the music. But overall it's okay. It's a good try. You did a good job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. You are welcome. We go on to number 5. It's Asra Sekar Maharani from Win Sunan Gunung Jati, Bandung. Sekar Asrel, are you there? No. Okay. I think I just go on. So the feedback is that I actually like the performance in general, generally speaking.
Yes.
Yeah, Asrel is so confident in presenting, and your pronunciation is good. Your English pronunciation is good, and there is no error in pronouncing each word of English. And then you watch the audience tightly, like your eyes really spot on the audience, which is
Oh, Heini, I can't hear you anymore. Can anybody else hear Heini? No?
Okay, Mr. Travis, may you go
Yeah.
to the next or this participant perhaps?
Yeah, I will. I'll give Asriel some
Yeah,
feedback. And yeah, Heini told me that her computer froze.
Yeah,
But
there's a problem with the computer.
no problem. Asriel, I thought I agree with what Heini was saying. I thought you made wonderful eye contact. The whole time I felt like you looked into the camera really well and your pace of speech was really nice. So I think there was some pronunciation issues, but the way you spoke was really easy to follow. And kind of like Heini was saying, I think that speaking with confidence, I thought you did really good with that. There wasn't a lot of video, so usually I would say use more video to let you look down at your notes and stuff. Even though you didn't need to look down at your notes from what I saw, I think more video would be good. But I did like the graphics you had about different information. It all lined up with what you were saying, which I thought that was really nice. Like it showed, as I watched your video, I felt like you understood everything you were talking about and it all flowed really nicely. So good job with that.
Okay, that's very
Thank
great
you.
advice
You're
for
welcome.
this one. Okay, for the next presenter, for the next participant, please the host to go to the
Yeah,
next participant.
Yeah, so Aswa Alvito Palipangan. I'm sorry if I said that wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
So I thought this was, again, I really liked your pace on this. I thought you were really fun and spoke with a lot of good confidence. There were a couple odd timing things, but I liked it overall. I think you could work on your pronunciation of some words, but I was actually really impressed. AstraZeneca is a very hard word to say, and I thought you said it really well throughout this. You said it a couple of different times with their vaccine, and I think it's hard for Americans to say, and I thought you said that word really well. So I was impressed with your performance overall.
Okay, so this is coming from Asfa Alvito Palipangan. Okay, the feedback for Asfa Alvito Palipangan from Mr. Travis. Okay, let's go for the next participant.
Yep,
So
and that
the
is
next
Chana
participant-
Nurul Aini.
Chana Nurul Aini.
Yep.
Okay.
So again, I thought you had the best speech pattern of everyone. I really liked how you spoke. I could follow it. You spoke confidently. Your lighting at different times was a little off, but and then I liked how you used different video squares, like this graphic here in the upper right. You did that, and then also went full screen at times. I just thought from an editing and creativity standpoint, I really liked how you presented this.
Okay, so thank you so much for the feedback. We're going to the next participant. Can we?
Yep, Koirun Fauzia.
Okay, please, Mr. Travis.
Yeah, so I like your pronunciation. I thought your pronunciation was really solid throughout this, and that you had good pace with your speech. So kind of those two big things I thought you did really well on. I think you could have used more video. There was no video throughout it. And then your audio at times, even though what you were saying was really great, I could hear like motorcycles and other sounds in the background at times. And that made it a little bit harder to understand. But overall, I thought you did really well.
Okay, so did very well,
Thank
but
you,
there
sir.
are something that have to pay attention on it.
You're
Okay, for the next participant is Lutfi Nur Aini from EIN
I
Kediri.
like your pronunciation.
Are you here? Are you here, Lutfi?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Mr. Travis, you have the floor.
Hey, yeah, so Lufti, I really liked with some other people, they didn't use video as much. And I really liked in yours, you got to video right away. I thought that made it a really good, compelling way to follow the story. I do think your lighting was a little off and out of focus at times, but I don't know how much you can control that. And then I did think your pronunciation in general was really good, and your pace. I thought you had overall good vocabulary, good pace. The one thing I'll say in your first sentence, it's pronounced AM. So you said, I think you said 7 EM and it's AM. I'm joining you at 7 AM. But overall, that it stood out because the rest of your pronunciation was very good. So nice job.
Okay. Can you catch the point of this? Can you catch the point? All right, thank you so much, Lutfi. You're going directly to the next participant, Monica Rahmawati from UNES. Okay,
All right.
please, Mr. Travis.
Yeah, so I like yours. You had some of the best pronunciation, and you were consistent throughout. So that is something I really liked. Some people would pronounce words really early on, but then mispronounce later. I thought you did a good job the whole way through. You had good pronunciation. I think the hardest thing for me was that I don't think you had any video in your presentation. So that made it a little hard to follow everything you were talking about. So the video helps tell the story too. And even though your pronunciation and pace were really good, I think there were some more creative elements you could have done. But overall, I thought you did really nice.
Okay, thank you so much. Monica, can you hear that?
Yes, I'm here, Miss.
Okay, well, we're going to the next participant. The next participant is Naufal Siddiq Nasrullah. Are you here, Naufal?
Yeah.
Can you say
so,
hello, Naufal? Okay, let me check whether Naufal joins here or not.
No problem.
Okay, no problem. Okay, please, Mr. Travis.
So yeah, I like yours. It was a little different because I think whoever taught you English, I think spoke with a British accent. So there was a little bit of that in yours. And so I thought that was cool. I hadn't heard that before. I thought you were good with your pronunciation, even though it was a little unfamiliar to me because it was British English. but I thought your pronunciation was good, and I liked your editing. You showed your whole picture. I think the pacing was a bit slow sometimes, so you'd take long pauses, back to what we were talking about earlier of being natural with how you speak. I think if you breathe and kind of know your scripts more, you don't have to take those long pauses. And then in the beginning, the music was really loud, so it made it hard to understand what you were talking about to start. I think you fixed it later in your video, but it was difficult at the beginning. But overall, I liked your stuff. Nice job.
Okay, so that's the advice for novel, right? Okay, next is Nefja or Tapia from Saint Sultan Abdurrahman, Kepulauan Riau. Yes, please, Mr. Travis.
Yeah, so I did like your virtual background. I thought it was cool. It was a little different than other people's, and I like the night skyline. I think your pronunciation's good, but I think it can be a little bit better. And then you were a little slow speaking, so I think that will become better with time. The more practice, you'll speed up a little bit. And then you were one of the people that took a long time to introduce video. So I think in a real newscast, you would want to have video much quicker so that we're not just looking at you in the background the whole time. But overall, I liked your presentation.
Okay, so more practice and try to little bit not only show means the announcer, right? Means the newscaster, right? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Ayla from IAIN Kediri. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, Nur Laila. So I really like you were nice
Can you hear
and
me?
quick.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes, sorry, my computer froze up a little bit. But I thought, Nur Laila, you were really nice with your quick pronunciation. Like right off the start, I felt like you spoke with confidence. And I thought I could hear chickens and cars in the background at times, kind of like I was saying earlier. So just watch your audio that you're recording. That was a little distracting. But then I also really liked about your presentation is your talking points, like what you were talking about was what you were showing on video, and not everybody did that. So good job there. And then I like that you had graphics with real data points. I thought that was a really good way of telling the story. So I think a lot of people just talked about it, but you actually showed me it. And I thought that was really nicely done. So good job.
Okay, good job. All right, wait a minute. So before we are continuing to the next participant, let me welcome back our second jury, Mrs. Aini. Are you ready? No. Okay, wait a minute. So we're waiting for our second jury, Mrs. Aini. Okay, I guess we can still hear Mrs. Aini, right? Can you hear that, Mr. Shrefi?
I don't hear Aini.
Oh, you don't hear Aini. Okay. So let us go to the next participant, I think. We're waiting for Mrs. Aini. Yeah.
Okay.
So we are going to the next participant. The same, still from IAIN Kediri, Reha. Can you hear me, Miss Reha?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, are you ready for having feedback?
Yeah. Ready.
Okay, please, Mr. Travis.
Yeah, so I thought you did a really great job. Overall, just good pace, good pronunciation, especially the things that really impressed me. I think you pronounced a lot of words, but then the fact that you pronounced names like Joe Biden and I forget the people from India, but you pronounced their names correctly. And it sounded real, like I think names are some of the hardest things. And I thought you pronounced those really well. So I thought that was really nice. I really like to, kind of like I was telling the previous person, I liked the use of data. You actually had like real data points and information about the vaccines and different numbers, which I think the numbers are really important in a newscast. And then a good mix of video. Again, you were speaking, like while you were speaking, the video matched up, and I could tell what we were talking about at the beginning of this, of you knew what you were talking about. And you saw that in your video. Your pronunciation is really good overall, but the one word that you messed up a couple times, it's not Pfizer vaccine, it's just Pfizer. So when you were talking about that vaccine, and I see you laughing, but you're fine. I knew what you were talking about, and people in America have screwed that up too, but it's just Pfizer. So don't worry about it.
Okay, very detailed feedback from Travis, right? Yeah, so little bit mistake. He can notify that. Okay, be careful for that one. Okay, we're going directly to the next participant. The next participant is Rita Afkarina from EIN Jember. Rita, are you here?
I'm in.
Oh yeah, Aine's back.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Aini is going back. Welcome.
I will directly go to Rika because your last comment is on Rika. Sorry, I've got a trouble, but it's fine. So for Rika, overall is great. I agree on what Travis said. Like, I think the Pfizer is a typo one in the subtitle, but I'm not sure also. But then Travis has a correct feedback for that. And the good thing from your video is that you're so powerful in presenting the news, which is good point, because the audience will have like belief on what you say. Like you convince us, the audience, by having the powerful voice. And then the intonation is great, I think. And then the fluency is also a great point. Speed and volume are also consistent. It's very stable and it's normal. The content also represents the topic is a bridging international, because you talk about the condition among United States, Indonesia, and India as well. So it really represents the topic to cover. And there are also some live video in your video to support the video. But then sometimes I think it's a good idea to move on the spotting on you as the presenter. So don't take too much on the live video. That's about me. Travis, I think I will go on to the Rita Afkarina number 15. Is that okay?
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Okay. We go on to Rita Afkarina from EIN Jember, TBI. Hello, Rita. Are you there? Are you with us? Okay. So this is the overall command. First sentence, I think you use a casual English instead of a formal or proper English, like use it gonna. This is also my question to Travis after this. And then the vocabulary uses like not a common phrase I heard in a news anchor or news presenter, like use a happy gathering with us, which is weird for me to listen. That's probably Indonesian culture. But your pronunciation is okay. I mean, you have a good confidence also and good eye contact. And the intonation is also good. I found there are some pronunciation error, but then totally it is good video and I can understand the content. So before this, before Travis has his turn to give a command, Travis, probably you can also answer my question about Rita's video that she uses a casual English like gonna be or something. Is that normal for you guys, another speaker? That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I agree with Aini that usually for newscasts, we speak a little more formally. So I think overall, your understanding of English to use that casual language is probably better than somebody else, because you learn that through real English speakers. But unfortunately, that's not how we like people to speak on the news. So even though your English is probably pretty good outside of a newscast, I think it hurt you a little bit in this situation. And then as far as your actual video, I thought you had a really good flow to your reading, and I thought your accent was one of the best. I thought you were really easy to understand, even though you used some of those words that maybe you shouldn't use. I really liked your accent and thought I could understand you speaking very easily. I think because of that, I noticed that when you came to letters, like there were a couple acronyms, I forget what they were now, and then names. Like I said, I know United States names are really hard to say, but I could tell you slowed down and had a harder time with those, but it stood out because you were doing well on all the other things. And then I would say your background, I think you could have made a little bit more creative background, but overall I thought you were really good.
Yeah, we go on the next participant to number 16. It's Shirley from Tadris Bahasa Inggris, Tain Kepulauan Riau. Hello, Shirley. I overall would like to give a comment on your intonation, which is okay, and the accent is fine. You are confident and your pronunciation is okay. You should improve your video creativity to be more interesting, because I found like there are no more live video throughout, so you can add some more to make it more interesting. And you only have 3 minutes, which is for me, I don't really get the point or the content of your video, because our theme is like bridging international relations, but your content is about the local topic that happen in Japanese. So you can enlarge and explore your content overall to represent the theme. It's about bridging international. But overall, your pronunciation is okay. So I think you did a good job. That's it, totally. Your turn, Travis.
Yeah, I thought your pronunciation was really good too. I think it was a little bit better at the beginning than by the end. It seemed like you had practiced it, and the start you were a little more comfortable with than the end of your presentation. I think I could tell you were reading at times where you could see your eyes going back and forth. That's pretty advanced. I don't think somebody should knock you for that, but it was just something I noticed, so I'm sorry. There were a couple awkward pauses in between words, but overall I liked it. And then I actually really liked how I've told some other people, I liked the data you used. I thought, even though you didn't have a ton of video, I thought the numbers and information you used was really effective and really good for telling the news story.
Okay, we go on the next participant number 17. It's Cynthia Nadila from Universitas Islam Negeri Jambi, Tadris Bahasa Inggris. So before I start, Travis, this is also the next question for you. I'm sorry. Is that okay to use uncommon phrase like we discussed last night? It's about like happy gathering or so on. I hope that you can explain to the participants after this or right after. Okay, so
Yeah.
my comment or my feedback to Cynthia Nadila is that your pronunciation is good. You have a good confidence and good eye contact, and your accent is also great. I like your accent. And then I found there are some pronunciation error, but it's not a big deal. You can improve your pronunciation skill, like when you pronounce the word ever, it's not effort. Also, the news is understandable. I can understand the content of your news, and you have a good costume like a professional presenter. So I think overall it's fine. Your turn, Travis.
Yeah, I agree with, I guess I'll answer your first question of the happy gathering. So Aini and I were talking about this last night, and I think that's like a, something that's showing up in Google Translate wrong or something, like selamat datang could be like welcome here. And certain words, depending how they translate directly in English. So we don't really say happy gathering, but often in the United States, we'll say, thank you for joining us. And so it just depends on the phrase, but I think some of those phrases don't add up usually. I will agree, I thought you had good pronunciation overall. I thought your music was a little loud at points, so it made it a little harder to follow. And I really like your introduction, though, even though you might say happy gathering, I thought you spoke with confidence and got me invested right away. I thought that was really nice. There was one point, I forget when, but I think you said 100 billion shots, like B, and I think you meant 100 million. So that goes back to reading stuff ahead of time to make sure the numbers and the words you're saying are accurate.
Okay. Did you do Google Translate it then? Yeah, for happy gathering, because I found it, because I'm thinking about in bahasa Indonesia, probably we say senang bergabung dengan kami or kind of. But then, yeah, it does make sense. Like, it's probably Indonesian, part of the Indonesian culture. Okay,
Yeah.
we go on to Suci Mahdini from IAIN Langsa, Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris, number 18. Okay. First, I would like to comment on the content, that the content doesn't really represent the topic, I'm sorry to say, because you only focus on the defeating virus with no solution, like I expect for like probably what can country do to solve the problem in the defeating virus, something like so. And the vocabulary choice is also the same, like happy gathering, but it's only a few part of the opening. But overall, it's okay. The pronunciation is okay. It's a very stable. I mean, the intonation is also consistent, and the accent is fine. And you have a good confident and eye contact when you close your shoot, and then you stare at the audience. I think one suggestion is that you can make the video more interesting by having like live video throughout or something else or kinda. But then overall, it's okay. You did a good job. Travis, your turn.
Yeah, I thought overall, I actually thought you had pretty good pronunciation, especially like I've been talking about names with a couple people. I thought you said Julia from America. I know that can be a really hard word for some Indonesians, and I thought you said her name really well. I think the other thing is that you stumbled at the beginning with the word international. So there were a couple other words that you mispronounced, but I thought you spoke really well with confidence. Like I felt like you sounded like you belonged, and I think that is really important. I think there wasn't a lot of video, but the video you did use, I actually really liked your pictures. I thought they were really powerful and really emotional. So I thought that was really nice.
Yeah, so I agree on what you said. Like some of us as a non-native English speakers pronounce the American or Western names hard. But I have a question, Travis, because I'm wondering what do you mean by, or what do you mean when you say it like it's hard to, the flow is hard to follow? Or what do you mean by it's hard to follow? Like you cannot get it, or what do you mean?
When I say what is hard to follow?
Yeah, I heard that
No.
like it's hard to follow in some phases.
I think it just depends if people have awkward pauses. So, and like if I'm speaking Indonesian, I know it's hard sometimes if I'm like, yeah, terima kasih, nama saya Travis. Like then you're like, what? It becomes hard. Or so I think we forget about it when we're speaking in a different language. But if you do it like asli dari America, like, you know, it becomes, when you do it in your language, it becomes easier to understand that, oh, that's weird, or you'll tune out because they're not speaking at a normal pace.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. Next, we go on to the next participant, number 19. It's Tasya Aufa Amalia from Universitas Negeri Semarang, Pendidikan Bahasa Arab. Okay, so I found there are some unexpected background. It includes the video creativity, but then it's okay because it's something in common, like we do it often, like the students do it often also when we take a video and there are some expected background and so on. And then you are mostly reading the text, which is, I think, reading the text is fine for all the presenters, but you need to, or you should take some time to spot on your audiences, to see them, to make the video more interesting. And then the content is about the Indonesia vaccine, so you can explore the content to make it more international, as the theme is international bridging. So you can add some more information from other countries as well. And your intonation is good, and your accent is also good. I like your pronunciation, and I like your costume because it represents professional presenter by having a black blazer. And I think the video is only 3 minutes, so we don't really get the content overall. So I hope that it can take longer to make it better. But overall, you did a good job. Your turn, Travis.
Yep. So I think you did a good job as well. There wasn't a lot of video early, but you used some later, and then you could hear the motorcycles and animals in the background. So that's another thing to be careful of. But I want to compliment you. I actually thought you had the best pace of anybody, and in this regard, so I think some people had good pace. But what I really liked about your presentation is you sped up at times and you slowed down intentionally. And I could tell you wanted to make certain words and certain sentences important. So you slowed down to make me know that was important. And then you sped up when you went on to the next story. And I thought you really mixed up your pace really well. I thought that was like really advanced English type stuff. So I was impressed by that.
That's good to know. And we go on the next participant. This is number 20, Zahratu Nurfadila from UIN Jember, Akuntansi Syariah. Okay, I like your video. You have a powerful voice, and it's very consistent from the beginning to the end. So I can enjoy watching your video. It is so powerful. Your pronunciation is great. Your accent is also good. And the content covers or represents the overall theme. Like you talk about the condition currently from the Middle East, Venezuela, and so on. And then the moving on of the picture is also good. So you start you start by sitting, and then you stand up, and then yeah, it's just a good act. And your intonation is also consistent, and I like your costume. It represents professional presenters to have a brown blazer as well. But I think one point that the lighting is a bit dark in my side because it includes a video creativity, so the lighting is a bit dark. So you can make it better next. But overall, I think you are one of the best, which is the video is great. That is from me. Travis, your turn.
Yeah, so I really like your costume too. I probably should have commented on some other people's costumes, but I thought your look of your outfit mixed with the desk, it all looked very professional. I thought you had good pace, good pronunciation overall. What I loved about yours is your introduction with your advice graphics. I thought that was maybe the best thing I saw in here. Is I liked how the graphics and advice matched up well. And I felt like that was, of all the presentations I saw, that was the most, I would see that in a real newscast. And I thought that was really applicable, helpful information. The one thing I will say, just say spread instead of spreaded. That's a popular Indonesian mistake, is certain words you'll say, I aided instead of I ate, or you add ed when you don't need to. But it stood out again because your pronunciation was really good at other parts. And then I thought your video matched up well with what you were talking about. So I thought this was a really strong presentation as well.
Yeah, so I also found some of the presenters, some of the participants also say that happening instead of that is happening, or you can just say only happening, it's okay without that. So I think it's a like grammar thing or so. We go on number 21, it's a participant. Okay, so far,
Aini, you sound really weird all of a sudden. Now you sound better.
Okay, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, your voice got like, I don't know how to describe it, but you're good.
It's coming from my headset.
Oh,
That is still the same?
yeah. No, that's bad. Don't do that.
Thank you. Okay, we go number 21. It's a Zulfa Zanjabil Kasturi. First, I would like to comment on the content. So just like mostly or other participants that they pick up the content which doesn't really represent the topic because they only take like a bit of it. The content doesn't really represent the topic when, for example, the participant only describe the impact of coronavirus or in some things like, but then there should be a solution, I think, because our theme or our topic is about in bridging international in public health. So if there is a problem or if there is a case, and then what should the government do or the country do or what should we do? What did the government take as the solution to cover and then to make a bridge between our own countries? Yeah, I like the outfit. It represents a professional presenter as well. And then you really have a good eye contact when you stare at the audience or at the camera in your video. Because you close up, make a zoom of your video. And then your pronunciation is okay. Though it only takes like 3 minutes of your video. So I hope you can take it longer to represent more news about international things. And then it is also better to support with a live video throughout, so it can make the video more interesting. I think that's, but overall you did a good job. I really appreciate your effort. That's for me. Travis, your turn.
Yeah, excuse me. I thought you did a good job as well. I think like Aini said, I like your eye contact throughout. I thought you had a really strong introduction. You started off well and I could follow you. I think there were some awkward video edits where you could tell you had started and stopped and it was a little bit difficult to follow. And you waited a long time before using video and graphics, but when you did, I did like that the graphics matched up really well with what you're talking about. So again, I liked not everybody, it matched up, but for you, I felt like you really knew what you were talking about and I liked that.
Okay, Travis,
You're on mute.
Is that okay?
It's got a little funkiness. That's better.
I have one participant left, so I hope I can survive. We got the last one. 22.
Oh, you're getting a little weird. I'm sorry.
Galuh,
that's better.
Latifah, it's from EIN Kediri. Okay. I like your voice. It's so powerful and it's consistent from the beginning.
Oh, and I think we might have just lost you, Aini. I'm sorry. I'll give my feedback, and then if Aini comes back, we can have her talk too.
Yeah, there's a problem with Mrs. Aini's computer again.
No problem.
So you'll be alone again, Travis. Yeah, for the last participant. So this is the last participant, Galuh Nuril Latifah from EIN Kediri. You may give the feedback. Okay.
Yeah, so I really liked the professor you used to introduce her. There was a little bit of a weird edit, but it worked. And then I actually think you were one of the few people, a lot of people I saw start strong and then they got nervous or whatever and they kind of did worse. I actually feel like you started very nervous and then you relaxed at the end, and that's when you had better pronunciation and better pace was later. And I don't know if that's just from looking at the camera for a long time, but I really liked the second half of your video. I thought your English improved and your confidence improved in the second half over the first half. So I think that covers everyone. I will let you tell me what's next. I know we might be waiting on Aini, or I can do whatever you need. So just let me know.
Okay. Yeah, because this is the end, means the last participant that should get the feedback, means the feedback session is over. Okay. So because we've got a lot of participants with their feedback for 22 participants, and we really hope that those feedback will be very useful for all participants to improve their ability in newscasting especially. Thank you so much, Mr. Travis.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, all great participants. So now we are coming to the last session, the announcement of the winner of National News Reading Competition held by English Department. Are you ready? Okay.
Yeah, I am.
So we would like to ask you, Mr. Travis, would you mind announcing the winner of this national news English competition, news reading competition?
Yeah, I can do it. And we'll do third place, then second place, then first place, right?
Yeah. So you will announce the top 3 winners over there.
Okay.
You should go
Okay.
from the third place, Travis.
Oh, can
Yeah,
you join
okay.
us, Mrs. Zaini?
She's on. Yep, she's here.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. I give the time to you to announce. What would you think the best?
So we give the time for Mr. Travis to announce the top 3 winners. Start from the third winner first.
All right. So first, I just want to say, even if you're not a winner, I was very impressed by everyone. I think you all put a lot of work into this, and you should all be very proud. You did much better than if I were to do an Indonesian news competition. I would be dead last place. So good job to all of you. With that being said, number 3 is Siti Israyani Armil from TBI IAIN Parepare.
Yay, congratulations!
Okay, congratulations, Siti Israyani Armil from TBI IAIN Parepare as the third winner of National News Reading Competition.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going directly to the runner-up.
Yep. And the runner-up, number 2, is Zarotun Nur Fadila from Akuntansi Syariah UIN Jember.
Okay, congratulations to Zaratun Nur Fadila from UIN Jember as the runner-up of National News Reading Competition. Give applause for Zaratun Nur Fadila. And so we'll be the first winner. Just wait. Yep. Okay.
And our first prize winner is Rika Niswatul Auria from TBI IAIN Kediri.
Congratulations to Rika Niswatul Aulia from TBI IAIN Kediri as the first winner of National News Reading Competition. So for all of the winners, congratulations. You have got the winner. And for further information about prizes, certificates, and so on, will be announced through WhatsApp group. For the juries, thank you so much for being available to join us.
I think we still miss one point for the favorite winner from the likes of the YouTube. Yeah.
Okay,
so we said like the participants who got 100 likes up, you get a certificate as the favorite winner. And we found there are about 19 participants that as the favorite winner. I think that's the one. Thank you.
Okay, so the favorite winner. Can you announce that, Mrs. Zaini, for the favorite winner?
Yeah. Heini, you're on mute.
Okay, we're waiting for that. Okay, again for the favorite winner will be announced directly by our head of department, Mrs. Dr. Ari Setiabudiningrum. Time is yours.
Woo! Yay, 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 yay. Thank you. Okay, I'm very proud of all the participants. All of your video mostly gets up 100 likes up, yeah. And I will read all the participants that will get a favorite certificate, yeah, as the participant that is a favorite. So the first is Sari Bulan from IAIN Parepare. She gets 306 likes. Yeah. Second one is Siti Israyani Armil. She gets 443 likes. And then Mariana from IAIN Parepare. She gets 234 likes. Devi Sinta from IAI Alkodiri Jember. You got 457 likes. Asrel Sekar Maharani from UIN Sunan Gunung Jati Bandung. You got 187 likes. And then Asfa Alvito Palipangan from IAIN Palopo. You also get a favorite certificate because you got 364 likes. And then Lutfi Nuraini from IAIN Kediri from psychology departmentnya. You also got favorite certificate because you got 457 likes. And then Monica Rahmawati from UNS. She is from Arabic department, but his English is so good. Okay, she got 118 likes. Naufal Siddiqui Nasrullah from IAIN Kediri. He gets 144 likes. And then Nevia Ortapia from Stein Riau. You also get certificate for the favorite participants because you get 103 likes. And then Rika from IAIN Kediri. Rita Afkarina, IAIN Jember. She got 175 likes. Suci Mahdini Alsya from IAIN Langsa. She gets 233 likes. And then Tasha Aufa Amalia Hasan from Universitas Negeri Semarang. This is from Arabic department also, Travis, you know that. But her English is so good also, yeah. She got 234 likes. And then Zahrotun from UIN Jember, yeah, from UIN Jember. For accounting, yeah, from accounting, we get 456 likes. And then Zulfa Zanjabil Kasturi from UIN Sunan Gunung Jati Bandung, she gets 234 likes. And then Galuh Nuril Latifah from IAIN Kediri, and is from mathematics, yeah, is from mathematics department, but she have a good English also. She got 199 likes. So for all the participants that I have already written names, we'll get a certificate and we will send directly to your email after this, okay? For the further information, we will share it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, congratulations for all the participants. Thank you. We are really highly appreciate for your participation in our event. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Ari Setiabudiningrum, as the head of our department, English department of IAIN Kediri. Okay, again, for all winners, further information about prizes, certificates, and so on will be announced through WhatsApp group. We go directly to the end of the session. For the jurors, thank you so much for being available to join us, especially for Mr. Travis. We're really glad to have you. Wow, it's such a valuable moment, especially for the participant, of course, to dig more knowledge on newscasting. Okay, thanks also for the team, for the host especially, Mrs. Ria Fahruriana. Can you show your face? Hello?
Ayo Buria.
Yes, we're waiting for the host. Okay, hello, Buria. Can you show your face? Okay, so this is our house, our team of today award. Thank you, Buria, for helping us for having this award. And last but not least, yeah, we have a photo session. So please, for all the people who join here, open your camera. We will do the photo session helped by Buria. Are you ready, Buria? Okay, for all the participants who joined in this award, who joined in this event, please open your camera. Okay, open your camera. We will do photo session.
You should count from 1, 2, 3.
Okay, wait a minute. We will waiting for the house. We will wait for the house. Ready? Okay. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1. Okay. So please be ready for that one. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Again.
How many slides?
Okay. Stay cheese.
Travis, are you in?
Ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Cheese.
Cheese.
Okay.
So, very Indonesian culture.
Can we do that again? Okay, the last. For the last, please be ready. I will count again. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we have where's that? The style? Do you have a style perhaps? Can we do this or here? Okay, we love you so much, Travis. So we can do like this one. 3, 2, 1. Okay, enough. Thank you so much, the house, the team, and also the juries, Mr. Travis and Mrs. Saini, and of course our head department, Mrs. Arisetia Budiningrum. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all great participants, now we are going directly to the end of this event. Thank you so much for joining us on National News Reading Competition Awards National English Olympiad 2021, presented by English Department, Faculty of Education, Institut Agama Islam Negeri Kediri. See you next year and goodbye.
Bye. Thank you very much. Nice job, everyone.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, you may leave that. Leave the meeting.
Lah, aku sih arep lah. Aduh, aku sih arep ngomong. Oh ya. Ya wes.